today's manufactured home.
You bought a house.
Okay, I think I get it, but for the record, that sexy saxophone riff would make a reveal of anything seem good. Here, I'll show you. You bought a taxidermy fox? You bought a fox? But it is true. It is true. It can be genuinely hard to tell the difference between manufactured homes and conventional homes, just like it's hard to tell the difference between Jessica Chastain and Bryce Dallas Howard. The difference is, like a mobile home, Bryce Dallas Howard is assembled off-site, then placed on wheels and moved to her permanent location. Around 20 million people live in mobile homes. That's roughly 1 in 18 Americans. And they're one of America's last affordable housing options, costing up to 50% less per square foot than a conventional house, which is great. But in recent years, some of the biggest investors in America have moved into this industry. According to one new report, over 100,000 home sites, traditionally run by mom-and-pop businesses, are now owned or partly owned by private equity firms like these. So the homes of some of the poorest people in America are getting snapped up by some of the richest people in America. And luckily, there have been no problems whatsoever. Except I'm obviously kidding, it's going terribly. If to make you feel better, you might enjoy our spin-off show, Everything's Fine, with John Oliver. Did you know ISIS is hamsters? This little terrorist name is Dumpling, and he doesn't even know how to use his gun! Sadly, back in the real world, the truth is, the rise of big money is exploding, and news stories like these.
People living at a local mobile home park outraged over the increase in lot rent.
Rents were raised by as much as 36%.
Rents were raised by nearly...
It's gone up, and it all adds up to a bill she can't afford.
Now it's a matter of, okay, now which medication am I going to take in half so that I can make it stretch out a little bit?
That's clearly horrible, because nobody should be made to stretch out medicine. It's a bunch of water, and if you didn't relate to that joke, you haven't suffered a single day in your life. So tonight, we're going to look at the mobile home industry. Let's start with the company that sells more mobile homes than any other, Clayton Homes. The company's ads choose to feature a more down-home spokesman.
What do I know about Clayton Homes? I know there.
And they know the difference between a house and a home.
Hey, Miss K, a home is where you get your Clayton Homes. Good call.
Judging by creepy delivery, there's just no way that getting her famous sweet potato pie is not also code disgusting sex act. It probably means Miss K smearing pie filling on his ballsack while a But the key difference between a mobile and a conventional it has to do with how it retains its value. Just listen to finance guru Dave Ramsey give his
value. It's the only thing you own that you live in that goes down in value. If you buy dirt under it, that goes up in value more than it goes down in value. So it appears you didn't lose money, you lost money. Cars go in value, mobile homes go down in value. It's a car you sleep in.
I've got to say, I find the negativity of his tone genuine there. That guy should replace Jim Cramer on his show. No more running around excitedly telling you you're going to lose money. So mobile homes may be a terrible investment for people buying the investment for Warren Buffett. Clayton Homes generated pre-tax earnings of $911 million. Instead of buying with mortgages, mobile homes tend to be bought with high-interest, shorter-term chattel loans, the kinds you'd use to buy a car or a TV. And an investigation a few years back found Clayton relies on predatory sales practices, 15%, trapping many buyers in loans they can't afford. Now, Clayton strenuously denies all of that, saying there are isolated incidents and that its customers report high levels of satisfaction. Although I will point out that one of those...
Don't you try something to come up with the money by the 31st?
What should
donate plasma or donate blood.
Really? I'm gonna get $800 for that?
No, that's one way to come up with a little bit of money, though.
Holy shit! God of satisfaction is to make sure they're all feeling lightheaded after you literally bleed them fucking dry. But it isn't even to do with how you pay for a mobile home or how quickly it loses its value. It's where you don't own the land underneath it. That's because they live in mobile home parks and pay rent on that land. To recent years, large investors have been snatching those parks up and either tearing them down or
The All family decided to sell the park, and they sold it to the Carlisle group.
First of all, Carlisle started off to most of us who are living on fixed income. I don't know what's going to happen. I may be forced to leave friends, the life I've known here, even though I own my home.
It's true. $216 billion in assets can make more money for their shareholders. If the concept of income inequality, that is the sentence it would scream when it orgasmed. Now, Carlisle insists, who are these fuckers, why they got into private equity. I'm sure they'd say to you, oh, to break even on investments in the beautification of a full... I apparently have to tell you that Carlisle has a safety net program for low-income residents, although you should know it only applies to 21, so it's a safety net that only catches 3% of people, just like the one they use at my favourite circus, a pile of dead family of those trapeze artists. And if you're thinking, well, look, that's terrible, but if those women live in mobile, women will tell you.
Although they call them mobile homes, it would cost $20,000 to move this. Once you move them in and they settle, moving them out's going to happen.
To move mobile homes, if you can move them at all. That is why 80% of mobile homes never move. So it's just, except in some parts of Alaska where it wields the power of a despot, but even then, it... And this lack